Hi, it's John Vu, and this lesson is on Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison from Trinity Rock and Pop Drums Grade 4. Okay, so if we take a look at the sheet music in the book, you've got the song title at the top of the page, and beneath that you can see we've got intro written in a box. That's just letting you know the first section of the song we're going to be playing is the intro. And then beneath that we've got the style or genre of the piece. So it says light folk rock. And then beside that, it says a quarter note equals 150. So that's the tempo of the piece. So there's going to be 150 quarter note beats per minute. Okay, so it's a fairly fast tempo. And then beside that, it says 2 bars counted in brackets. That's just letting you know when you play this with a backing track, there's going to be 2 bars of a counting before the track starts. Okay, so the first bar of music, we've got the bass clef there. And then we've got the time signature which says 4/4. So we've got a 4 at the top which tells us there's 4 beats in the bar. And the 4 at the bottom tells us the note value of the beat is a quarter note. So there's 4 quarter note beats in the bar. And the reason we got a bass clef at the start there is because that first bar we can see there is an anacrusis or pickup bar. And we got a pickup few notes there to be played by the bass guitar. So you can see beneath that first bar we can see there, we've got bass in brackets. So the bass plays those 2 pickup notes you can see at the end of that bar, and like I said, that's an anacrusis, which means it isn't a full bar. So the anacrusis or pickup bar takes us into the first bar. Okay, so that isn't the first bar of music, it's the pickup bar. So we hear the bass guitar play those pickup notes, and then we come in the next bar, which is the first bar of the piece, the first full bar of the piece, which is bar 1. Okay, so we've got a pickup bar played on the bass guitar, then we come in at bar 1, and in bar 1 we've got 2 rhythms in the same bar there. So we've got top rhythm, quarter note rest, then we've got a quarter note on the hi-hat, quarter note rest, quarter note on the hi-hat. So we're playing the hi-hat on 2 and 4, the downbeat of 2 and 4, and the bass drum rhythm underneath that, we got a dotted quarter note on the 1, so that'll last till the end of 2. Then we got an 8th note on the end of 2, 8th note rest on the downbeat of 3, 8th note on the upbeat of 3, 8th note rest on the downbeat of 4, 8th note on the upbeat of 4. So we're playing the 1 and then the upbeats of 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so if we put those 2 rhythms together, bar 1 sounds like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so just hitting that 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, that upbeat bass drum rhythm underneath it, and beneath the bar you can see it says MF, short for mezzo forte, which means half loud. So that's the dynamic you need to play that at, about a normal playing level. And then you've got 3 1-bar repeats for the rest of that line. So we just repeat bar 1 3 times, so we play it 4 times in total for that top line. And you can see above the 3rd 1-bar repeat, which would be the 4th time of playing that bar, we've got the number 4 there in brackets, okay, just to help you keep count. Because when you have 1 bar repeats, it's easy to lose count of how many times you've played it. So as you fill the 4th bar, which we naturally do as musicians because we're playing 4-bar phrases a lot, we'll know where we are because we'll see the number 4 there in brackets above the 4th time of playing that bar. Okay, so coming into line 2, we've got 3 more 1-bar repeats. So we play bar 1 another 3 times. And then we come into bar 8 at the end of the second line where we've got a 1-bar fill. So we've got a bass drum for a quarter note on 1, snare drum for a quarter note on 2, and then we've got 16th notes on the 3. So the first 16th note with the right hand's on the high tom, and then we've got left, right, left on snare. So that'll be 3 E and A. And then we've got 2 8th notes on the 4. So right hand goes back up to high tom to play the downbeat of 4. Left hand plays the 8th note upbeat of 4, 4 and. So that bar we got 1, 2, 3 and a 4 and. So the right hand or the lead hand, so that'd be the left hand if you're a left lead player. So the right hand plays the high tom for both of the notes on a downbeat of 3 and a downbeat of 4, okay? Snare plays the other notes on those 2 beats. So that bar, bar 8 sounds like this, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so get familiar with the sticking and the orchestration because this song is fairly fast, okay? So that's one of the most challenging parts of this piece, playing these rhythms and these grooves, these fills, tidily at a fast tempo. Okay, so really spend time at slower tempos, like I said, just to absorb the rhythms and also the orchestration of the fills so you know which hands are going where, okay? So like I said, with that fill, make sure the right hand goes up to the high tom for both the high tom notes. Okay, so get the fill down first, then gradually increase the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so get more comfortable, increase the tempo, and once you're there, we're going to put that together, okay, because that brings us to the end of the intro. You can see a double bar line after bar 8, letting you know there's a musical change. So we've got 2 lines there for the intro, 8 bars, so we're going to put those together now, okay, at 150 beats per minute, which is the song tempo. So let's try the intro. And now we'll try the intro with a backing track. Okay, so like I said, fast, upbeat tempo. So this is a very sort of good feeling song, summery kind of vibes. And the difficult thing with this piece is playing it at this tempo, so a fast tempo, but staying relaxed, okay? So it's got like a slightly driving feel because the tempo kind of drives it. So make sure you're staying on top of the tempo, you're keeping good time, but you also relax as you play it because the song has a relaxed, happy, summery vibe, okay? So you really need to portray that in your playing. Okay, so make sure you've got that balance. Don't be all stiff and tense trying to keep up with the song. If you're feeling tense, just practice it at slower tempos, okay? Then gradually build it up. You want to be nice and relaxed, okay? You should have a smile on your face when you're playing this song. Okay, so get to that point first, and then we'll put it with the backing track. So now we're coming to the next section of the song, which starts at bar 9, so line 3 of the piece. So you can see we've got a verse in a box there above bar 9, let you know this section of the song is the verse. Okay, so at the start of bar 9, you can see an open repeat sign or a start repeat sign. So we know we're going to be coming back to this point later in the song. Okay, so we need to make note of that. And then in the first bar of the verse, we've got an 8th note groove. So we've got 8th notes on the hi-hat, and then we've got a bass and snare drum rhythm, quarter note on bass on the bass drum, 8th note on the snare drum on 2, 8th note on the upbeat of 2, the end of 2, then we've got 8th note rest on 3, 8th note on the bass drum on the upbeat of 3, snare on 4, bass drum playing the end of 4. Okay, so you've got your standard backbeat playing 2 and 4 on the snare drum, and then a bass drum rhythm around that. So just like in the intro, you're playing that downbeat of 1, and then the upbeat of 2, 3, and 4 on the bass drum. Okay, so you're keeping that theme that you set up in the intro. So that groove in bar 9 sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and beneath that bar it says "Vary fills on repeat." So because we got that start repeat sign at the start of bar 9, you know you're coming back to that point. So when you do come back to that point and repeat this part, you're going to be varying the fill. So for now, I mean, just take note of the of what it says there: "Vary fills on repeat." Okay, so we don't need to do anything with that in a minute. All right, so next bar, bar 10, we've got slash notation, which gives us freedom to improvise. And above the bar, it says cont sim, which is short for continua simile. So you just need to continue in a similar way. So you need to continue with a similar groove to that you played in bar 9, okay? But you can improvise a bit, so you've got that freedom to improvise. You've got a slash notation for the next bar as well. So again, continue to play a similar groove. And then in the next bar, which is bar 12, you've got slash notation again. So again, continue with your improvising, but we've got one hit there that we need to make sure we hit, and that's the last 8th note of the bar, which would be the and of 4, and we've got an open hi-hat, okay, to play. So it's a hi-hat note, and there's that little circle that you know we need to open the hi-hat. So on the and of 4 of bar 12 of your improvised groove, we need to open that hi-hat. Okay, so if you play the same groove that we played in bar 9 with the open hi-hat on the end of 4, it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you want to get a nice open hi-hat in the end of that line, and then coming to the next line, it starts at bar 13. You can see we've got an 8th note on the downbeat of 1 there with a plus sign above it, so that's a closed hi-hat. So we open that hi-hat on the and of 4, the last 8th note of bar 12, and then we want to close that on the first 8th note of bar 13. Okay, so we've got slash notation again for bars 13, 14, and 15. So just carry on with your improvised similar groove. Okay, to bar 9, similar groove to bar 9, and then we come into the last bar on that line, bar 16, we got 2 beats of slash notation. So you continue improvising that groove for 2 beats, and then we got a 2-beat fill. So for the 2-beat fill, starts on the 3, you've got an 8th note on the hi-hat, on the downbeat of 3, 2 16th notes on the snare drum on the upbeat of 3, so that'll be and ah. So you want to play that right, left, and then the right hand goes up to the high tom for the downbeat of 4 for an 8th note, left hand plays the snare drum for the upbeat of 4 for an 8th note. Okay, so that 2-beat fill starting on the 3 sounds like this. 1, 2. Okay, so just like with the intro fill, the right hand's going up to the high tom. Okay, just to help you with the orchestration. Okay, so you've got 2 beats of improvised groove, 2 beats of the fill. So it could sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so get familiar with that. Again, nice slow tempos just to get used to the orchestration and the rhythm, and then build up the tempo as you get comfortable. Okay, because that's the most challenging part of this song, playing all these parts at a fast tempo where you're staying relaxed and comfortable. So on to the next line, bars 17 to 20, we've got another 4 bars of slash notation. So we carry on improvising that 1 bar groove, and then we've got that same hit on the last 8th note of the last bar of that line. So the end of 4 of bar 20, that open hi-hat, okay? So that same thing that we had at the end of bar 12. And then bars 21, 22, and 23, another 3 bars of slash notation. And again, you can see we've got that closed hi-hat on the 1 of bar 21, the start of that line. Okay, so just like you had in bars 12 to 13, we've got the same thing in bars 20 to 21, that open hi-hat at the end of the bar, closing at the start of the next bar. And then in bars 24, so the last bar of that line, you've got another 2 beats of slash notation, and then you've got a 2-beat fill. So this 2-beat fill, starting on the 3, you've got a dotted 8th note on the hi-hat, on the downbeat of 3, then you've got a 16th note on the snare drum on the ah of 3, and then you've got right hand going up to high tom again for the downbeat of 4 for an 8th note, snare drum playing the 8th note on the and of 4. So that rhythm is 3, 4, and. So 1, 2. Okay, so all of the fills in this page, the right hand has gone up to play the high tom. Okay, so that's a good thing to kind of make sure you know, because it makes the fills easier to play, especially at this tempo. Okay, so if you're playing fast and you know the right hand always plays that high tom for this page, then it's just going to make the fills easier to play when you increase the tempo. Okay, so little things like that are just good to sort of take note of. Okay, so that bar, 2 beats of improvised groove, 2 beats of the fill. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, nice and slow, get it down, get comfortable with that, and then you want to increase the tempo, okay, as you get comfortable. And then you can see a double bar line at the end of bar 24, so that's the end of the verse. So we're going to put the whole verse together now. Okay, so you've got a 1 bar 8th note groove with those upbeats on the bass drum. Then you want to improvise, okay, so you want to play a similar groove. You can play the same groove if you like, but if you want to add in a bass drum here and there or take out a bass drum here and there, that's fine as well. Okay, so let the music kind of dictate to you what you want to play. So when you hear the music, you might get some ideas, it might give you a feeling to kind of play a particular groove. So if you want to change it up slightly, you can, but obviously not too drastic. You want it to be a similar groove. Okay, so keep the theme similar, keep it consistent sounding, and obviously it's got to complement the feel of the music. Okay, then you just got those 2 fills at the end of, well, there's 2 lots of 8 bars there. So you've got 7 bars of groove and that 8th bar fill, then you've got another 7 bars of groove, 8 bar fill. Just don't forget that open hi-hat at the end of the first and third line of the verse. Okay, so we're going to put the whole verse together now. And now we'll try the verse in time with a backing track. Okay, so just like with the intro, make sure you give it a nice upbeat, summery, happy feel. Make sure you're relaxed. Okay, you're keeping nice even eighth notes for this groove. Okay, so when you come in at the start of the verse, just make sure you're straight in with a good subdivision at the correct tempo. You don't want to be coming in too fast or too slow and then having to correct it. So make sure you're feeling the tempo, you're feeling relaxed. Okay, so don't let the tempo make you tense and stiff. Keep relaxed, straight in, feeling the eighth note subdivision nicely. Nice eighth note upbeat bass drums. Okay, to keep the theme of the song that nice upbeat feel. Open hi-hats at the end of lines 1 and 3 of the verse, and in those fills, make sure they're flowing, and remember the right hand goes up to the high tom for both the fills. Okay, so let's try the verse in time with the backing track.
Hey, where did we go? Days when the rains came down in the hollow, playing a new game, laughing and running, hey, hey, skipping and a jumping in the misty morning fog with our hearts a thumping and you.
So now we come on to page 2, which starts at bar 25. So this section of the song is the refrain, okay, which is a repeated phrase which normally comes at the end of a verse and ties the end of the verse nicely into the next section of the song. Okay, so you've got the same 1 bar groove that we played at the start of the verse, and then you've got slash notation again for another 2 bars there after bar 25, so bars 26 and 27, 2 bars of slash notation, and above bar 26 it says cont sim again, which means continuous similes. You just need to, you can improvise, but you need to continue a similar theme, okay, a similar groove to the, that you played in bar 25. And then you've got a change up in bar 28. Okay, so all you've got is an extra bass drum on the and of 1, that upbeat of 1. It's just changing up the bass drum rhythm slightly in that groove. So bar 28 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so every upbeat is played in that bar as well as the downbeat of 1. And then we've got another 3 bars of slash notation. So again, just continue with a similar groove, okay, for those 3 bars. And then we come to bar 32 at the end of that line, where we got 2 beats of slash notation to carry on improvising the groove for 2 beats, and then we got a 2 beat fill. This one, 16th notes on the 3, 3 E and 8th notes on the 4, 4 and. So 3 E and a 4 and, all on the high tom, okay? You can play those as single strokes, so 3 E and a 4 and. So that bar with 2 beats of groove before at the start of the bar sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, nice slow tempo just to get the orchestration and the rhythm down. Okay, and above that bar, above bar 32, you can see we've got those volta brackets with a number 1. So that's the first ending, okay? So that's the ending. And at the end of the bar, you can see we've got the end repeat sign or the closed repeat sign. Okay, so that's going to send us back to the open repeat sign or the start repeat sign at the start of bar 9. Okay, so that's the first ending of the repeated section in bar 32. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to play the whole refrain, so those 2 lines. Okay, so bars 25 to 32. So now we're going to try the verse and the refrain in time with the backing track. Okay, so keep a solid groove. Make sure you're right on that tempo from the first downbeat. Okay, so you're coming in with the correct tempo and you're keeping that relaxed feel for the groove. Nice flow into the fills. Okay, so let's try that now.
Our hearts are thumping and you, my brown-eyed girl. You, my brown-eyed girl. Whatever happened?
So after playing the refrain, so once you've played bar 32, like we said, you go back to the start repeat sign at bar 9, which is the start of the verse. And now, remember we saw it said vary fills on repeat. Now we're on the repeated time of playing the verse. We're going to vary the fill. So whenever you see a fill now in the verse on the repeated time of playing it, you can vary them. Okay? So just like before, we play the 1 bar groove, we can improvise, but we need to continue a similar groove. We've got those open hi-hat well, we've got the open hi at the end of bar 12, close at the start of bar 13, 3 more bars of improvised groove, 2 beats of improvised groove in bar 16, and then that 2-beat fill at the end of bar 16 we can now change up. We can vary the fill. Okay? Then we play through bars 17 to 20, then we go on to bars 21, 22, 23, and then in bar 24 you've got that 2-beat fill again, so we can vary that fill because we're on the repeated time. Then we come into the refrain again, bar 25, we play through bar 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 and 31, and then instead of playing the first ending again, we skip to the second ending at the start of the next line. So in an ending 2, you can see the volta brackets again with the number 2 there, so that tells us it's ending 2. So it's the second ending of the repeated section. We're at bar 32B, so we've still got 8th notes on the hi-hat, and now we've got snare drum on all the downbeats and a bass drum rhythm underneath that. Okay, so we get the hands down first. The hands are playing 1, 2, 3, 4. Bass drum playing downbeat of 1 for a quarter note. It's playing an 8th note upbeat on the end of 2, quarter note on the downbeat of 3, 8th note upbeat on the end of 4. Okay, so putting the bass drum in as well, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so pretty tricky with the independence there. Okay, being able to play the hands, the ostinato with the hands and that bass drum rhythm. Okay, then we got a 1-bar repeat, so we repeat bar 32B, and then in the next bar, you've got the same thing for the first 2 beats. You've got 1, 2, and. So you continue in with the same thing you were playing in bar 32B and 33. And then you've got a 2-beat fill. You've got a dotted 8th note on the high tom. So again, right hand goes up to the high tom to play that downbeat 3 for a dotted 8th note. 16th note on the at 3 with the left hand on the snare drum. Then the right hand comes down to play the downbeat 4 with the right hand on snare. And then left hand goes up to high tom to play the and of 4, okay, the 8th note. So that 2-beat fill, 1, 2. Okay, so putting it together with the 2 beats of fill, so the whole of bar 34 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the that section. Okay, so that would be like the second refrain, the end of the second refrain. So you've got that double bar line there, and that brings us into the next section of the song. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go from the start of the verse, that start repeat sign. We're going to play through the verse, through the refrain, and we're going to play the refrain with the second ending. Okay, so bars 32B, 33, 34. Okay, so let's try that now. And now we'll try the verse and the refrain with ending 2 in time with the backing track.
Whatever happened when Tuesday was so slow? Going down the old mine with a transistor radio. Standing in the sunlight laughing, hiding behind the rainbow's wall. Slipping and a sliding all along the waterfall with you, my brown-eyed girl. You, my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember when we used to sing sha-la-la-la?
So now we come into the chorus, which starts at bar 35. So we got a 1-bar 8th note groove. Okay, but this time the 8th notes are played on the ride cymbal. Okay, we got the same bass and snare drum pattern. So the bass drum playing a downbeat of 1, upbeat of 2, upbeat of 3, and upbeat of 4. Snare drum playing the backbeat on 2 and 4. and we've also got left foot, so on the hi-hat pedal, playing downbeat of 2 and downbeat of 4, which is going to kind of complement the backbeat, okay? Kind of add that hi-hat chick sound on the backbeat, okay? So bar 35 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and we got a crash coming in on the 1, the downbeat of 1, to accentuate the start of that groove. Then we got 2 1-bar repeats, so we play that groove in bar 35 another 2 times. Remember, don't repeat the crash on the 1 for those 1-bar repeats. Then we come into bar 38, where we got the same groove for half a bar. Then we played the 3 on the ride cymbal, and then we've got an 8th note rest, played 2/16 on the upbeat of 3 on the snare drum. So that's the and the at of 3, so you play that right, left, and then 2 8th notes on the snare, right, left. So that would be 3 and a 4 and 1, 2. So that whole bar 38 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then on to the next line. So starting at bar 39, you've got that same 1 bar that you played in bar 35, so that 1-bar groove. Starting with a crash again, and then we've got 3 1-bar repeats for the rest of that line, so you play the groove another 3 times. Again, don't repeat the crash on the 1, just play the ride cymbal on the 1 for those 3 1-bar repeats. So you can see the number 4 again, written above that 4th time of playing the groove, just to help you not get lost when you, in case you do, if you obviously lose count of how many times you played the groove. Okay, so you got that number 4 there letting you know that's the 4th time of playing the groove. And then we come into bar 43, where it kind of breaks down a bit here, so it kind of strips back. So you've got the 8th notes returning to the hi-hat, okay, playing the whole bar of 8th notes on the hi-hat. No snare drum, just bass drum, downbeat of 1, upbeat of 2, downbeat of 3, upbeat of 4. Okay, so that same bass drum rhythm that you played in the second ending. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the next bar 44, you play the same thing for the first 2 beats, and then you've got another fill of the second 2 beats. So you play the 3 hi-hat and bass drum together, then you got 2 16th notes on the and the at of 3, and then a quarter note on the 4, downbeat of 4. So that bar 44 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And above the quarter note on the 4, you got an accent. You need to play that note with more force, more emphasis, some more stress on that note. So nice and loud on that note. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so those 2 bars with a bit more tempo sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the chorus. So we're going to put the whole chorus together now. So that same groove you've been playing just on the ride cymbal with the added left foot part on a downbeat of 2 and 4. Okay, so remember for the fill, just make sure you keep nice and relaxed and flowing. Okay, and you've got that accent at the end of the chorus. Make sure you hit that note with more emphasis, more force. Okay, so let's put the whole chorus together. And now we'll try the chorus in time with the backing track. Okay, so keep that upbeat, happy, summery feel to the music. Stay nice and relaxed, keep it flowing. Make sure you got the independence, okay, that hi-hat with the left foot landing right on that 2 and 4 to complement that backbeat. Okay, so let's try it with the backing track.
We used to sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, just like that.
So now we come into the bass solo, which starts at bar 45. So in bar 45, we just got 1 bass jump on a downbeat of 1 for a quarter note, and then we rest for beat 2, that quarter note rest there, and then we also rest for beats 3 and 4, where you got that half note rest. Then we got another half note rest in the next bar, so we rest for beats 1 and 2. We got 8th note rest on beat 3, and then we play the and, a of 3 on the snare drum. So right, left on the snare drum on the and the at of 3. We're playing 8th note on the snare drum for the 4, and then we've got a bass drum playing the and of 4. Okay, so that bar 46 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. And that brings us into the next line. Starts at bar 47, where we've got a bass drum rhythm playing here. So we've got a bass drum on a downbeat of 1, upbeat of 2, upbeat of 3, upbeat of 4, which has been the same bass drum rhythm we've played throughout this song. Okay, so you're playing that same bass rhythm, and obviously this is the bass drum. This is the bass solo, the bass guitar solo. So you're just supporting that soloist. Okay, just keeping that those downbeat of 1, upbeat of 2, upbeat of 3, upbeat of 4 feel. Okay, and then you got 2 1-bar repeats for that bass drum rhythm. So you play bar 47 number 2 times, and then a slight change up in the last bar of the line there, bar 50. Where you're just playing the downbeat of 4 on the bass drum instead of the upbeat, and you're playing the upbeat of 4 on the snare drum. Okay, so that rhythm is 1 and 4 and. Okay, so playing bass drum on the downbeat of 4, snare drum on the upbeat of 4, and it's got an accent above that snare drum. So more force, emphasis, stress on that and of 4. So that bar 50, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we've got a double bar line there, because that brings us to the end of the bass drum, of the bass guitar solo, the bass solo. Okay, so turning the page. So top of the page, bar 51, we've got the verse again. So we've got another verse here, which would be verse 3. We've got that 1-bar groove. Okay, that same 1-bar groove we played, and this time we start this verse with a crash cymbal on the 1. We've got slash notation again with cont sim, so continua simile, so continue with a similar groove, so you've got freedom to improvise a little bit, but keep it similar. And then in the last bar of that line, bar 54, you've got 3 beats of slash notation, so carry on improvising the groove. And then you just got a slight change up on the 4th beat. So instead of playing that back beat where we normally play on a downbeat of 4, for that bar 54, you're just going to change the backbeat of 4 to play the upbeat of 4, the and of 4. So we've got a snare drum rest on the 4, and we're playing the snare drum on the and of 4. So that bar would sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so just a little change up there in that bar. Next line, starting from bar 55, same 1-bar groove that you played throughout the song, and then you've got 2 bars of slash notation, 2 beats of slash notation in bar 58, and another 2-beat fill. So for this 2-beat fill, you're all on snare drum, 8th and 2/16, and then 8th note. So 3 and a 4 and. Right, left, right, left. 1, 2. Okay, the next line, starting at bar 59, you got the same 1-bar groove again, 2 more bars of slash notation, and then a change up in bar 62 at the end of that line. So you just got a change up on the snare drum, playing 2 and 4 and. Okay, and obviously that bass drum rhythm's changing because we've got more snare drum notes in there playing those upbeats that the bass drum was playing. So you're hitting the same notes, but you're just changing the upbeat of 2 on the bass drum to an upbeat of 2 on the snare drum, and the upbeat of 4 on the bass drum to an upbeat of 4 on the snare drum. Okay, so that bar sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's bar 62. Then we come into the next line, starts at bar 63, same 1-bar groove, the main groove of the song. 2 more bars of slash notation, 2 beats of slash notation, and another 2-beat fill at the end of bar 66. You got an 8th note on the hi-hat for the downbeat of 3, 2 16th notes on the snare drum for the end, and the at of 3. 8th note on the snare drum for the 4, 8th note on the high tom for the end of 4. So for this fill, left hand goes up to high tom. So that fill, 1, 2. Okay, and you got a double bar line there, letting you know it's the end of the section there. So that brings us to the end of verse 3. So we're going to put that whole verse together now. So very similar to what you've already played in the song. You just got some change ups at the end of each line. So we got change ups in the groove and also 2-beat fills. Okay, so just like before, make sure you're getting comfortable with the subdivision and the rhythms at nice slow tempos, and then gradually bump it up to get to that song tempo. And when you get to that song tempo, make sure you're still relaxed as you play it. Make sure everything's flowing and feeling nice. Okay, so let's try putting verse 3 together now. Now we'll try verse 3 in time with a backing track.
So hard to find my way now that I'm all on my own. Saw you just the other day. My, how you have grown. I cast my memory back there, Lord, and sometimes I'm overcome thinking about making love in the green grass behind the stadium with you.
So now we come into the refrain, which starts at bar 67. So in the first bar of the refrain, you've got that same 1 bar groove, the main groove of the song. Then you've got 2 bars of slash notation. And then in the next bar, bar 70, you've got a slight change up. So we've got an extra bass drum playing the end of 1. And we've also got the snare drum playing the end of 4 instead of the bass drum. Okay, so that bar sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we come into the next line, starting at bar 71, where you've got the same 1 bar groove, the main groove of the song, 2 bars of slash notation, and then to start on the next line, bar 74, you've got that change up that we had at the end of the second verse, okay, the second ending, where you're playing all 4 downbeats on the snare drum, okay, and that bass drum rhythm changes to downbeat of 1, upbeat of 2, downbeat of 3, upbeat of 4. We've got a 1 bar repeat, so we repeat bar 74, and then in bar 76, you play that same thing for the first 2 beats, but take out that bass drum on the end of 2. And then you've got 2 beats of slash notation, and above that you've got fill. So we need to improvise a 2-beat fill at the end of bar 76. Okay, so bars 74, 75 and 76 sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and obviously you can improvise any 2-beat fill there. Okay, we got double bar line there, letting us know we've come to the end of the refrain. Okay, so let's put the whole refrain together. So now we'll try the verse and the refrain. So this will be verse 3 and the refrain in time with the backing track. Okay, so just like before, keep it relaxed. Make sure you're coming in with the right tempo straight away and you're just comfortable playing all of these parts, all right? You want to make sure you're feeling comfortable throughout to make sure everything flows nicely. So we're playing mainly the groove and we've got those change ups at the end of each line of the verse, okay, whether that's a change up in the groove or a change up by playing a 2-beat fill. And then we continue with a similar thing in the refrain, but we're just changing up to play the downbeats on the snare drum, okay? So make sure you're comfortable with that transition into that groove, finishing with the improvised 2-beat fill.
So hard to find my way now that I'm all on my own. Saw you just the other day. My, how you have grown. I cast my memory back there, Lord, and sometimes I'm overcome thinking about making love in the green grass behind the stadium with you. My brown-eyed girl, you my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember when we used to sing sha-la-la?
So now we come into the final section of the song, which is another chorus, which starts at bar 77. So here we got the same 1 bar groove that we played in the previous chorus, which is the same as the main groove of the song, but we're just playing the 8th note on the ride cymbal, adding in that left foot on a downbeat of 2 and 4 on the hi-hat pedal, crashing in at the start of the groove, okay, on the 1 of bar 77, okay, to accentuate the start of the groove. We've got 2 1-bar repeats, so we play bar 77 another 2 times, remembering not to crash on the 1 for the repeats, okay, just carry on the ride cymbal on the downbeat of 1s for those repeated bars. Then in bar 80, we've got half a bar of the same groove, and then we've got half a bar where we're changing it up. We've got a ride cymbal playing a quarto on the 3, and then the second rhythm, we've got an 8th note rest on 3, 2 16th notes on the snare drum on the and the at 3, so that'd be and a, and then we've got 2 8th notes on the 4, so 4 and, again on the snare drum, so we've got and a 4 and. So we've got 3 on ride, and a 4 and on snare. So that bar sounds like this, 1 2 3 4. Okay, then we come into the next line, starting at bar 81. We've got a start repeat sign there, letting us know we're going to come back to this point. We've got the same 1 bar groove that we played in bar 77, so we crash in again to accentuate the start of the groove. 2 1 bar repeats, so again, don't repeat the crash for those 2 1 bar repeats, just carrying on the ride cymbal. And then in bar 84, we've got slash notation, so we can improvise. The first 2 beats of that slash notation, you just want to carry on with the groove, so you can improvise a bit. But remember, it needs to be similar. And then above beat 3 of a slash notation, it says fill. So beats 3 and 4, you're going to improvise a 2-beat fill, okay, for that bar. And then you can see at the end of that bar, we've got the end repeat sign, which means we need to go back to the start repeat sign at the start of bar 81. And also above that end repeat sign, you can see it says play 3 times. So the repeated section, which is the start repeat at the start of bar 81 and the end repeat at the end of bar 84. That repeated section you're going to play 3 times. Okay, so you've got 3 bars of groove and then 1 bar, 2 beats of slash notation where you're improvising groove, the other 2 beats of slash notation when you're improvising a fill. Okay, so you're going to play that 3 times. And then then we've got a crash in the next bar on the downbeat of 1 played with the bass drum as well. Okay. And then we rest for the rest of the bar and rest for the final bar. So we've got half beat rest in the final bar because remember in the start of the piece we had a pickup bar which was 2 beats long. Okay, so we're going to put the final chorus all together now. We're going to put that together, so bar 77 to the end of the piece. And now we'll try the final chorus in time with a backing track.
Do you remember when we used to sing sha la 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 to da sha la 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 to da sha la ba bit ba bit ba bit ba bit ba bit sha la 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 di da la di da la di da la di da la di da.
So you want to make sure you can flow from section to section, so it's good just to pick 2 sections, make sure you've got the transitions between the 2, okay, then pick another 2, make sure you can transition between those 2. Once you've done that, we're going to put the whole piece together. Okay, so the tough thing of playing the whole piece is because this is a fast tempo, there's quite a bit of stamina involved, okay, so you want to keep everything relaxed, because if you tense at all, it's going to be hard to keep up the rhythms, okay, and your stamina will kind of sort of drift off and you'll start to sound sloppy, things will start to be slightly out of time, okay, so it's really important to stay relaxed throughout this song to make sure it stays even sounding throughout the whole song. Okay, you want to make sure you're on the tempo, on the subdivisions throughout the whole piece, and you can only do that from feeling relaxed. Also, it's important you're relaxed because the vibe of the song is relaxed, fun, upbeat, happy, summery, okay, so you need to portray that, and if you're like this, you're not going to betray that, okay, so keep everything relaxed and flowing, smile on your face, okay, so feel the vibe of the song as you're playing it, okay, so just make sure you're thinking of those things as you're playing the song, okay, so let's try and put the whole piece together now. And then finally, we'll try the whole piece in time with the backing track. So as stamina is key with this song, you want to make sure you practice all the song parts at nice, slow, comfortable tempo. Get really comfortable with the rhythms, the orchestrations, okay, nice even subdivisions when you're playing groove. Make sure you've got all that down. Build up the tempo gradually, okay, so it's not a big shock when you come in at this fast tempo. You want to make sure you're used to all the parts like at increasing tempos, so make sure you're comfortable playing it at 80 BPM, 100 BPM, 120 BPM, 140 BPM before you come in at 150 BPM. Okay, so you want to make sure when you're at 150 BPM you're completely comfortable with all the parts, you're feeling relaxed, everything's flowing, okay? So don't rush through this song, work at this concept of drumming, okay? Stamina. Being able to play these rhythms at fast tempos for a long period of time. That's the skill as a drummer you want to develop with this song, okay, if you haven't developed it already. Okay, so if this has shown a weakness in your drumming, i.e. stamina, make sure you work on it. Don't just rush through this song to be able to play it so you can go to a next grade, okay? The key is improving your drumming, improving your musicianship. Okay, so make sure you're comfortable playing fast tempos for long durations of time. Get that skill down. Okay, that's the main thing. Have fun with the song, and then we'll see you in the next lesson.